Okay, this is a 3D section view of our wall so far. I've got a section box here just to review. This is a 3D view of our wall, and this is the section box, and that's highlighted here over on the left, section box highlighted, and I can pull back or forward to reveal different areas within the wall. And I just wanted to kind of peek into this window section just so we can see the kind of detail that we have in it currently. Now I'd like to add some siding to this before we build our stacked wall, so it's kind of a texture to it. So let's go ahead and make a new texture. I'm going to go to Manage, Materials. I'm going to create a new material, and I'm going to rename it right away as Siding. And we'll go ahead to the Appearance palette and we'll grab a texture. And I'm going to have a texture available to us in on the Blackboard site. I'll import that and we'll go ahead and open it. And we'll leave it just as it's set. And I'll click Apply. Nothing's going to happen because I'm not using that texture yet. We need to actually just go in and edit the wall and add that texture to it. So as you remember, we select the wall surface, hit Edit Type, and then we go to Edit the Structure, and we still have that top structure that's 5/8 thick, and we're going to give it that siding texture. And we'll see if that works. And it looks a little bit on the light side and a little small. So let's go ahead and edit that texture directly. So we'll go to Siding, and I'll go to Appearance. And what we can do is go ahead and edit that image again. And you'll see that's a foot there, so that's a really small amount of texture. About 2 of those should be to a foot. So this should be 1, 2, 3, this should be about 4 feet tall. So I'm going to change the spacing to 4 feet. Oops, I think I need to, yeah, 4 feet, that's right. And then I'm going to take the brightness down on it a little bit, just to give it so it reads a little better. And let's give that a shot. Alright, still pretty bright. We probably would want to tint it, but I won't worry about that for this project. At least now we have our siding on, so we get a little better, a clearer view of our wall section. Okay, so now let's look at the idea of making that into a stacked wall, a wall that has a foundation connected to it. And the idea here is every time we can add a more complexity to a common wall area, the less detailing work we have to do or construction work we have to do later on. So we're going to build a stacked wall, and I'm going to go to grab the wall, and then grab, I think the only stacked wall that comes usually with the out-of-the-box Revit stack wall. It's brick over metal stud, and we're going to go ahead and edit that type right away. And I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call it custom stacked wall, for lack of a better term. Okay, once again, if you're not seeing this icon, it's because you don't have the preview window open. And we'll go to Edit. And now, instead of using that brick on top, what we're going to do is we're going to select, by grabbing in front of that, we're going to grab our wall that we've created. And I just have to exterior framed wall. And let's make it all related to the finished face exterior. And the bottom is a complicated foundation area here, so let's just make this a very simple one. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the foundation 12-inch concrete. And now before we kind of quit out of this, what I want to do is I want to zoom in here so we can see what's going on. Here's our plywood, and typically what happens is our plywood extends out past the face of the foundation. So as a matter of adjustment, what we're going to do is we're going to just add a little bit of an offset here. And I'm just going to put in one number. It should be about 1.25 inches. So I'm going to try that. And it's probably 1 1/8. That's a 1/2 inch, and I had a 5/8 inch thickness. So that would add up to 1.125 inches. And there we have precise alignment. So now our plywood is just overhanging our foundation a little bit. That gives us a little bit of protection if we detailing this for an actual foundation for keeping moisture shedding off of the wall surface. Okay, so there we have that, but I'm gonna, oops, I clicked back out of this. I think we're gonna make our foundation wall a little bit taller than that. We're gonna go to 4 feet. And we'll click off OK. And we'll use this existing wall. We now have a stacked wall. So I'm going to grab this wall and I'm going to change it as soon as I can select it. There we go. I'm going to now change it to our custom stacked wall. Alright, so now we have our foundation. And we haven't set up levels yet, and we're going to do that next. But this is sitting at level 1. We really want our foundation wall to sit below that, and we're going to go through some details about where we want our foundation to sit with respect to the idea of a first floor. So let's just briefly look at levels now. I'm going to go to the south elevation. And level 1 is typically where we want our first floor to be, as I said, and that would be really more at the top of the foundation. We have another, and the way we are aligning this stack wall is to the bottom of the foundation. So I want to make some adjustments here. I want to make the foundation sit lower than level 1. So we know we have 4 feet, and we're going to have a floor thickness of 1 foot. So we really want to sit down here about 5 feet. So if I select this wall, I can do the base offset to -5 feet and click apply. And let's visit our section now to see what we're talking about here. So I'm going to click to the section, and now we have our side view. We have our foundation. It looks like we're cropping a little bit. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I thought that was the crop line. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that element is for doing adjustments. I think that's just the wall height itself, so I'm going to just undo that a couple of times till we're back to our wall setting. That was just a wall height adjustment. Excuse my confusion there. So anyway, we have level 1 now. That'll be the first floor entry. We're going to create a floor there. Let's go ahead and go right to the south elevation again and finish this up by creating a couple of additional elevations. So level 2, second floor, let's make that at the 10-foot level. And we'll create one more level. I'm going to go up and grab the level tool, and we'll come up another 10 feet, and we'll make level 3. We'll call that, well, let's see, what should we call this? Top of plate. I'm going to just rename this. Top of plate is an indication that that is the top that we want, the very top edge of the wall where we apply the roof rafter to. We'll see that a little better in section now. And actually, let me go ahead and I can pull this up until it touches that line. And if we look at that, oh, it's actually just aligned to it. What I really want to do is connect it to top of plate. There we go. And so that's good for this section of our clip. Let's take a look at this in that 3D section and see what we have. So now we have our wall constructed with our siding, our foundation coming down, and we're ready to look at constructing enough building and floor that we can cut some meaningful sections out of this wall element. And we'll start that in the next section.